Hello again and welcome to Retirement Coffee Talk with Sharice Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. My name is Randy Cook, and each week Sharice and I sit down here and talk through some of the things that are in the news, some of the things that are affecting your money, but mostly what we want to do is talk about you and your feelings and your concerns and your wondering about this thing called retirement. So that's what we deal with here. Sharice, how are you doing today?
Doing great. School season's getting back into a full-blown flow here, and there's a lot of noise out in our world with elections and the attempt of a possible assassination, and there's a lot of things, and we've gotten a couple of calls, and people are emotional. People are really confused out there a little bit, and they're not sure what they should be doing. So we're the voice of reason here. We're going to be talking about that today because we want to address it lightly, and we want to put all politics aside, and we want to help people feel confident if they can through these episodes and these segments we go through, because we get you, we get what's going on. Nobody can predict the future, and that's for sure, Randy.
Well, we say around here, it's not about the red and the blue, it's about your green. And so we want to make sure that you're okay in all of this. And I understand the emotions of it all. And I remember, back in 2016 when Trump came up and beat Hillary Clinton, and everybody was just shocked at that. And then we all wondered, where's the market going to go? And a lot of people pulled back and said, this is Trump's a wild card. And then what happened? The market just soared. And so trying to time things because of stuff like this is probably not the thing you want to do. I mean, we've got some stats here about election years. In the last 80 years, there have been 20 elections. 16 have been up years in the market. So, I mean, you can't really predict it, Sharice. All you can do is sit down and say, hey, if something happens, am I covered? And that's the conversation people want to have with you.
Well, absolutely. And, this is kind of a wake-up call for everybody, because what if today, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you stay in the middle, whatever you are, I want you to forget all about that. I want you to think about your retirement plan and how different shifts and different catastrophic events could really hurt you. And do you have a plan? Do you have an exit strategy? Who do you call? And will they answer, right? And so let this be, just a little baby warning, like make sure you have your financial plan intact. Make sure you know your income plan. Make sure you know if today we were talking about a funeral for a possible president in the future and the market would have crashed, what would you be living on for the next 5 to 7 years as we crawled our way all the way down this roller coaster ride and all the way back out? If that were to be something that were to happen, right? Not saying it will or it would have, but what is your plan? If you're in retirement, you have to know. Our clients are teed up. They know what they have. They know where their income's coming from. They know how much is at risk and how much is safe and what the game plan is when this kind of stuff happens.
Well, this isn't unlike any other kind of event. I mean, we've talked about market volatility in the past, and then we've talked about wars that have affected our markets and all these different things. So, I mean, look at, even if it was a stock that you own, I mean, a lot of people own Apple. Remember when Steve Jobs died, and that was a big deal. Nvidia is the darling out there right now that's holding up the market and just soaring. What if something were to happen like that? The CEO passes away, or somebody comes up with a chip and just knocks Nvidia off the market. And these things can happen. And as you and I have talked about for the last 10, 11 years, control what you can control. And the stuff out there you can't, but you can control where your money's placed and what your retirement plan is. That's the conversation really in the office right now.
Yeah, you don't want all these unknowns to derail your retirement plan or your income strategies or whatever you've got going on for those people who are not our clients. So get in the know. There's no better time than the present. Let's just prepare for the what if.
There you go. So right now, what we're actually looking at is we're on the edge of August here, and we're talking about, September might be a time when the Fed decides to start cutting rates. But don't get too excited about that right now, because they've been waiting for this for a year and a half. The people over in Europe, they cut their rates in June, and their market went down 2.5%. So it wasn't what they expected. So there are people that are talking about a market pullback, even though we're shooting up. Every time we go really up into the stratosphere, people go, and this can't last a long time. So this is Sylvia Jablonski, and she is saying, the market could pull back, but that actually is a very healthy thing.
I think we're due for a pullback. The markets are really melting up, but pullbacks are also opportunities to come into the market. You have $6 trillion sitting on the sidelines or sitting in those 5% money markets. The market's doing a lot better than that this year, 17% on SPX, over 20% on NASDAQ. So I think pullbacks are only a good thing if you have cash on the sidelines. And if you're in it for the long run, just don't look at your account for those couple of days, stay the course. I think a pullback is healthy at this stage.
All right. So maybe a market pullback is healthy for the economy and healthy for the market. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I get that. But Charisse, the people that you and I talk to every week here are in their late 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. A pullback is not healthy for their accounts.
Right.
So this is what we want to talk about here. Yes, the market pulls back, and that's healthy for them. I don't want that to happen to me. How do I prevent that?
Right. So, historically, when you look at the stock market, Randy, a pullback is healthy because typically a pullback, if it's only 5 or 10%, it typically hits a higher high later on. The question you have to ask yourself is, how long does it take to get to later on, right? So let's say the market's down, 10% and it takes, a month. And then it takes actually 3 months to go back up, to get back to even. So you're 4 months where you're just kind of really sideways and you're back to even. Where the problem arises, Randy, like you are saying, is when we are in our retirement years and we're living off our income. And let's say you have to start selling, you sell stock to put cash in those accounts so you can get income. You need to sell that stock before the pullback happens, right? And have already in cash. So all the listeners out there, I really want you to tune into this. This is what I do every day. If there is a 4, 6 month, 8 month, 12 month pullback and you're living on your money, do you know for a fact if you have enough cash to live on so you don't have to cash out stock during that time period? Because if you do, you are doing all the things you were taught not to do for the last 30 to 40 years of your entire life. And it's called financial conventional wisdom. You never sell when the markets go down. And the only way you don't sell and you don't let the emotions get the best of you during elections or pullbacks or interest rate changes or any noise Federal Powell comes out with. What you do, you control those emotions by having the cash flow or having a safe bucket that's making 3 to 5% that you can withdraw from so that you can keep your emotional life out of the one bucket you were taught to never sell, right? And if you don't have that or you don't know you have it, then that means somebody has not worked up a plan for you. Somebody hasn't put it in writing, hasn't bounced ideas back and forth, which is a problem in retirement. If you don't have that type of service or you don't have that at all, Houston, you do have a problem because you probably will make bad decisions because you can't see it. It's not clear. You're not confident and you're bouncing around from the TV back to here, back to the TV, back to the CNBC, back to the, Fox News or CNN, wherever you watch. So stop the craziness, calm the chaos, and get control of your personal economy. Get control of your life and your retirement. And if you're thinking, that makes sense, Charisse, then just give us a call because that's what we help people do. We help you control the emotions, work that plan out so that you don't have that chaos because that's what you need and that's what you deserve.
Well, when you think about this, the people that are nervous about market pullbacks in retirement are people who are they're depending on market gains for their income. The people who have pensions, the people who have Social Security, the people who have annuities, and the money's coming in no matter what, those people aren't nervous because they're not depending on a good stock market for a good retirement. We want to have that conversation with you. Let's not rely on the ups and the downs of the stock market for a great retirement. Let's build our income outside of that. And many of us have no idea how that works. Charisse does. It's what she does every single day. Let's sit down and build your income plan so that the paychecks continue. You know what you get now every 2 weeks. Do you know what you get in retirement? And if you don't, Let's get you that number. 833-368-3680. It's 833-368-3680. Or online, you can find us at zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com. There's a gold box down in the bottom right-hand corner. It says Complimentary Retirement Consultation. Click on that, and we'll ask you a few questions. Our team will reach out to you, and we'll get a date on a calendar. Or, again, you can reach out to us, 833-368-3680.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Coffee Talk podcast. If you have questions or would like to begin the process of building a tailored retirement plan, call Zinnia Wealth at 833-368-3680 or find us online at zinniawealth.com.
Sharice Rivers is an investment advisor representative of Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Sharice Rivers is licensed in your state, please contact their office. Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Sharice Rivers, NPN Insurance License Number 8718011.